That bus driver, the Douglas County School District says dropped kids off at a spot that wasn't theirs, was fired this afternoon. Thanks for joining us for 4 o'clock at 9 News. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Kim Christensen, and tonight we're talking one-on-one with that bus driver as he is taking accountability. 9 News reporter Lawrence Cafidi has been following this story and spoke with concerned parents after the drop-off happened on Monday. And Lauren, you were the first to speak with him right after he got that call about termination from the district.
Irving tells me that he was very upset when he got the news. He says that he's been subbing for the last about year or so, and after all of this, he thought that he would still be driving one of these buses here. He thought that he'd still have a job. I talked to the Clear Sky Elementary School students yesterday. They told me that their substitute driver missed a bunch of their stops during the bus route home. After driving a couple miles, students say Johnson told about 40 kids to get off the bus at a stop that wasn't theirs. Parents tell me strangers brought their kids home. Irving told me today he was unfamiliar with that route and those kids, and he was asking them for directions when his tablet wasn't working. He says he saw a group of parents on the street and then he let all the kids off, even though he knew it wasn't a spot. Kids tell me they were scared and they didn't know what to do or where to go. Irving says once the kids got off, he drove back to the terminal. He admits he didn't keep the kids safe, and he's sorry.
But I should have stopped and shut the bus and talked to the parents and gotten their help to get the kids back on the bus who had gotten off the bus. And I didn't think to do that. And that was my fault. And that's why I got terminated. That's what they told me.
He thought that this firing was fair. He said that if he knew everything that he knows, he wouldn't have fired himself. But he also says that the district isn't a bad district. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll be live again. I'll have that apology from the bus driver, and I'll also explain the note that the district sent to parents today. Live in Castle Rock, Lawrence Cafidi, 9 News.
Well, I know, Lauren, last night hearing from the kids, they were pretty confused and upset. And parents obviously upset as well, but I'm glad we're getting his side of the story. I mean, it didn't sound like it was vindictive. It was just a bad choice.
Yeah, Kim, I'm having a hard time hearing you, but yeah, it was good to hear from him today, and we'll have more on his apology coming up at 5 o'clock.
Sounds good. Thanks, Lauren. After some mountain snow overnight, it was a bluebird day on the slopes. Yeah, look at all those lucky people. Do they work? They go to school?
They may, not then.
But not today. Okay, this is what it looked like at Keystone earlier this afternoon. Many people out enjoying the fresh powder. Keystone reported 4 inches of snow yesterday.
All right, Kathy, that was kind of a perfect setup for them.
Oh, and we've got more snow coming just in time for the Thanksgiving holiday. While here in Denver, those of you that would like to see less snow over the next few days, and with all of the travel that many of you have planned, we've got a calmer weather forecast. But wow, was it cold this morning? 15 degrees. That was our coldest low since mid-March. And we've warmed nicely as winds out of the south have kind of calmed a bit. We're still tracking the wind along the Front Range foothills. Denver is embarking upon a warming and drying trend ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday, which will see some changes, colder weather and the chance for some snow. Temperatures 46 in Denver, 48 in Greeley, 48 in Fort Collins, and 30s in the mountains. That's a 10, 15, 20 degree temperature swing from this time yesterday in the warmer direction, which is wonderful to see. The winds are lighter along the Front Range, but still very gusty over Loveland Pass, Dumont, and Netherland, and we're monitoring the wind as we sit in between storm systems. The big bomb cyclone off the coast of California, a big, deep, low pressure system that's producing record rain and snow, and a hurricane warning, a hurricane wind warning posted in the Pacific Northwest today. What a crazy storm. That storm eventually will make its way toward Colorado. What does it mean for you? The timing and impact just ahead.
Thanks, Kathy. Work is officially underway to put out an underground fire that's been burning in Colorado for decades.
That fire is smoldering under the Marshall Mesa Trailhead in Boulder County, where an old coal mine was abandoned decades ago. Today, 9 News reporter Evan Krugel was the first to be given a tour of the site. He now has the latest on the work that's being done there.
Yeah, crews have been out here for a few weeks using massive machines to dig deep into the earth as they look to put out a smoldering fire that's been burning here for decades. There is a lot that goes into this process, and it is quite time consuming. Crews have to dig down more than 20 feet into a coal mine that was abandoned here in the 1940s. That coal is then brought to the surface and mixed with dirt and water to cool it down before putting it back into the earth. There are some risks associated with this type of work, so crews say they're taking extra steps to prevent any potential fires.
The only thing that slows us down right now is wind. We basically stop all excavation and handling of hot materials if we get frequent wind gusts above 15 miles per hour. So we've had some shutdowns this last week because of wind. All of those hot materials are covered, and we no longer work on them.
This area is a popular spot for hiking and biking, so the goal is to finish this excavation work by February, at which point those trails here can be rebuilt. Reporting in Boulder County, Evan Krugel, 9 News.
Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance, and with it come new numbers from the FBI showing there's a lot of work still to do.
The latest data shows hate crime numbers in Colorado overall went down last year, but hate crimes based on sexual orientation went up. 9 News reporter Jaleesa Rosari spoke to a few experts to find out why.
Let me just get my mouse to work this morning.
Words and numbers
Okie dokie.
are what Jax Gonzalez lives by.
Yeah.
So when the policy director for One Colorado sees these kinds of numbers, it can be hard to find the right words.
This increase in violence is absolutely related to this increase in negative rhetoric we're seeing across the United States.
Gonzalez is looking at the latest hate crime report released by the FBI. It breaks down hate crimes by category and by state. In Colorado in 2023, while most numbers were down, hate crimes based on sexual orientation were up by about 20%.
But then when I travel across the state of Colorado, I am hearing all sorts of challenges among communities, and that environment is what leads to increased violence against trans people in Colorado.
We're not going to be able to just prosecute ourselves out of this challenge right now.
Jeremy Shaver works for the Colorado Anti-Defamation League. He says they're working on other solutions like strengthening victim services, creating a hate crime reporting hotline, and enhancing law enforcement training.
The LGBTQ community broadly is really being dehumanized and targeted. I think we really need to tone down the rhetoric a bit, take a step back, remember that we can have challenging conversations about public policy without dehumanizing others.
Gonzalez says treating people like humans is the very least this country can do.
Yeah, a simple ask.
They hope one day the numbers and words reflect that.
And days like today, where we are remembering those who we've lost, is a reminder of the weight of what is happening and how important it is that we continue to do this work.
While Colorado saw a 14% decrease in overall hate crimes, there were also fewer law enforcement agencies involved. Shaver says 17 fewer agencies participated in the 2023 report. He believes that could attribute to that decrease in cases. Reporting in the studio, Jaleesa Rosari, 9 News.
You talk about the specific numbers for specific hate crimes, and some of these categories aren't that old, really, when you consider what they're studying.
Yeah, exactly. Gender identity is something that we've been recently talking about, right? It was just addressed within the Colorado state legislation, so they're going to be keeping a close eye on those numbers as well.
All right, Jaleesa, thanks. This week we learned that 2 new lawsuits have been filed against El Paso County leaders related to the Club Q shooting. Our 9 News legal analyst is going to join us later this hour to explain if they have a case as far as accountability.
The Health Ethics Committee met today but did not come to an agreement as to whether to release a report detailing what the investigation into Matt Gaetz appeared to be, Donald Trump's pick to be the U.S. Attorney General. Gaetz was investigated for allegations of sexual misconduct with a 17-year-old as well as illicit drug use while he was a congressman. Several Republicans and Democrats in the Senate want to review the findings in the report before they take a vote on his appointment. But Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson has pointed out that the Ethics Committee only has jurisdiction over sitting members, and Gaetz resigned his House seat last week.